Day is coming up, so we all got to be safe out there and enjoy ourselves with our families and try to have a great evening. Welcome to the podcast called Tell the World, everyone. Okay, everybody. So, once again, I'm saying this again. I'm on YouTube. That's my channel, the YouTube channel there. And also on my Podbean audio station there. You can find me located on Podbean. So, if you're on the go, Podbean would be a good place to locate me. You can take me on the go with you and just listen to some of the vibes and me dropping some of the knowledge down on our worldly troubles of today. And that's Podbean. Podbean. Locate me on Podbean. Okay, let's talk about the Jay-Z in the NFL. I waited before I was going to say anything because, I just needed to think about it. I needed to, put it in my mind how I felt about it, and right away how I felt about it. I already felt like it was a bad thing to do. To me, it's a bad deal. But let's jump into an interview with Charlemagne when Charlemagne was asking Jay-Z questions about, Kaepernick and, the NFL, the discussion he had between those two.
I think the biggest issue people have is they want to know how you could partner with a league on social justice when Colin Kaepernick, who brought it to the attention of the masses by peacefully protesting against social injustices, still out of a job.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that I think we take it back. I think that we forget that Colin's whole thing was to bring attention to social injustice, correct? So in that case, right, this is a success, right? This is the next thing, right? Because there's two parts of protesting. You go outside and you protest, and then the company or the individual say, I hear you. What do we do next? Right? So for me, it was like actionable item. What are we gonna do with it? Like everyone heard, and we hear what you're saying, and everybody know I agree with what you're saying. So what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So reach millions and millions of people, and or we get stuck on Colin not having a job.
Okay. So, I guess what he's saying is that he wants to not worry about Kaepernick and just focus on the injustice of what he's trying to do. He wants to work with that and move that with action. And I'm trying to figure out myself. I'm trying to figure out how is the NFL going to help that situation, or how can he use use his platform and his thinking in social justice on the NFL, using it with the NFL. It's just a halftime thing. So halftime you can only do so much. The same way if you got a Super Bowl commercial, you push out all of these commercials as much as you can. A lot of people, most people do watch the Super Bowl. They enjoy more of the commercials than they're enjoying the actual game, especially if the team is losing. So, there's big money involved in marketing and promoting and commercials, especially when people are watching that tube. So, let's get with the social injustice. Social injustice is based on concepts of human rights and equality, and can be defined as the way in which human rights are manifested in the everyday lives of people at every level of society. A number of movements are working to achieve social justice in society. And see, that's where I have the problem at, because he didn't explain everything he's going to do. And then how does that fit in? Kaepernick kneeling was was for the flag situation. And then people were, adding on to his kneeling with, don't, stand as well as for what the flag stands for, with cops killing and us kneeling to the flag. It's like we're bowing down and being destroyed at the same time, but have to put our right hand across our chest to pledge this allegiance. It all just seems it makes no sense. Growing up, you thinking things are fair when you got your hand on the right, your right side, or using your right hand to your left side of your chest, and you're, whatever way you want to salute the flag, put it that way. It plays just a lot of factors in all of this. And the things that I'm trying to understand what Jay-Z is trying to do, it's not computing with me. It's not, is there something wrong with me where I don't understand? Maybe it is. But how can you, what are you going to use this for? What I'm trying to say is Jay-Z has his own platform. His name, Jay-Z, he has a platform. They say he's a billionaire. Okay, he has Rock Nation. That's another part of his platform. You don't need the NFL to show any part of social justice or injustice to a minority of people who are being mistreated in the world. I don't think having an NFL platform doing that on would be good. You're uniting with them. So it doesn't look right. That's what looks wrong. You're crossing over, and you're having secret meetings before the meeting jumps off. We just get an announcement. You guys already had the meeting. You guys already discussed whatever you discussed in your meeting. You've already made deals. So the world doesn't understand you when the deal has been made. It doesn't make sense. It's the same as Kanye West visiting Donald Trump behind a closed door. We don't know what that meeting was about. You could come downstairs and tell us anything. Yeah, you could take Jim Brown with you up there, but we still don't know everything. The same way Steve Harvey went up there with Donald Trump and had the same thing. Now, I tie all these in here a little bit. Jay-Z had mentioned, well, what is everybody doing besides talking? I have gotten people out of jail. I have fed people. I have done this 365 days of a year. And this is his own comments. It kind of rattled me a little bit. I'm not looking at his money. His money doesn't matter to me because that's his life, that's his wealth. But when you say the things that you've done, do you know how many parents put up bail money to get their young black men out of jail? Do you know how many more calls those parents got saying that your son is back in jail again? Do you know how many times these parents had to go back and bail him out again? Or did you know that parents had to put themselves in a terrible situation where they had to put their homes and cars up for collateral to get their loved ones out of jail? So, saying what you're doing, I don't think it matters to people. Maybe it mattered to the person that needed to get out of jail. But when you say it that way, you're actually putting other folks down who probably still doing this every day, trying to get their loved ones out of jail and trying to keep them out of jail. You helped certain people that were already in the celebrity status that you're in. Versus, I believe there was maybe another young couple that some part of Arizona had got arrested for their little girl taking a doll, I believe, out of a Family Dollar store. I think I read that he might have helped make their bail out of jail. This is my point what I'm trying to make. The money that we spend getting our loved ones, the money that we spend getting anybody out of jail, is it really helping? Because they'll find other laws that's against us to get us right back in there, because it's already designed to be against us. We're not savages where we want to go to jail all the time. A lot of people go to jail trying to survive. A lot of people do bad shit and they go to jail. How do I tie this in as in looking kind of weird? Well, Kanye goes into Donald Trump secret meeting they have. Kanye West's wife, she's now getting people out of jail. I mean, look at ASAP. I got a call saying, Kim went to go see ASAP in jail in Sweden. This was on a Monday. I said, you know what? He'll be out by Friday. Friday came. Look at the date. He was out. See, this is what I mean about when parents are paying to have their sons and daughters bail to get them out of jail. And some of these bails are so high they can't even do it. But your son or daughter still is going to pay the price through labor by being in jail. All these jail houses, they're all funded. You might as well call them houses because that's what they live in. They're all being funded. That money is funded for all of them. So when it boils down, it's actually a bad thing for us. It is. Because they find some law, some kind of way that works against us, that leads us right back into those jail systems. Your money means nothing, is what I'm trying to say. You're only bragging about the things that you have done. Is it bragging or you're just co-signing? Let's say he's not bragging. Let's just say he's co-signing the things that he's done. And he has a right to say that. These are good things. Helping, get someone out of jail and trying to give them a chance to get their lives right. It's a good thing. It is. But is it good for them, or is it good for you, or is it bad for them? Because they can wind right back up in jail. You can't keep getting them out of jail. So who is it good for? Who does it benefit them for? Rock Nation. We know McNeil. He's on that label now. So they have to come on your label. Okay? And so, let's say there's an agreement being made saying, now look, you got to stay out of trouble. You can't be around no felons, no gang members, none of that. You got to keep yourself clean. You're on my label now. I got you out of jail. So you're going to have to do the right things if you want to get your life straight. Is that a good thing to, have someone to do? Well, yeah, you get somebody to jail. You want to tell them to keep their nose clean. You're trying to get their lives straight. You're trying to make their lives better. You're trying to show an example. Maybe, maybe not. It could be good. But at the same time, when you go behind a closed door, and I have to say this, and a lot of people are not going to like how I say it, but I'm going to say it. When you go behind the door with a white man behind a closed door, we don't know what's being said. So the first thing comes to our mouths is going to be the word cooning, sellout, all of that. Because everybody don't know what went on in that meeting. Nobody knows. No one knows. We don't know all of this discussion. We don't know the agreements. Do we need to know those things? Yes. Because the right way would have been to do it was to get some educated, trustworthy, I don't want to use political, I don't want to use politicians to go in there, but some activists, some real activists to go in there with you in those meetings, so we can make sure that the right things are being, put forth into helping the communities and having a better relation with some of these officers or districts around the world. Because that's how it should go. I can't say we can trust everybody in the White House because it may not work for us anyway. Voting for them ain't working for us, so whatever. Now, I had a thought come across my head. I said, well, JC has his own platform. He has Rack Nation. He has his name. Hey, why can't he team up with Obama? Would Obama help him out for social justice? Is that possible? Would he do it? Right away I thought about that and I said, hell no. Because that's not how it works in this game. Obama's going to talk from a tweet. But I don't think Obama will actually join it for that. Because for some reason, helping the black community, it's hard for us to get the right kind of help. And when we get those people that call themselves activists that are trying to help us, we find out that they're doing shady stuff behind our backs. So it never works. And we still put and left into that same condition. So that's why we look at it as not being a good deal. You got your Al Sharpton, you got your Jesse Jackson, they can't help us. All of that, all those years that I saw back in the 80s versus 70s, and I look at it now, it was a waste of time. Did it get us anywhere? Did Martin Luther King get us anywhere? Did Malcolm get us anywhere? Well, Malcolm and Martin did do hard work labor. They didn't have the cash flow. They did get donations. So what I'm saying is that your resources need to be put in places so it can start upscaling the communities, can start giving the young youth hope. Like, every year when school is out, these young kids need summer jobs. Summer jobs give them some type of skill, some type of trade into, instead of just tearing the neighborhood up, you'll be fixing the neighborhood. You'll be fixing something up for someone who is less fortunate. So, could Jay-Z do some of those things? Yes, he could do some of those things, but wait. When he was a part of the Brooklyn Nets coming to Brooklyn, he did promise some of these people in the community some low-income homes that they could afford. Now, people will jump to that real quick and say, wait a minute, he got them jobs. He got the people their jobs. The jobs were good to have, but the jobs don't fit the apartments, the roof over the head. The job is not matching the living condition of having a place to live, affordable. It does not fit. It's still a struggle. Why is it still a struggle to live? Why is it still a struggle to live? Why is it a struggle to just live and be happy and have a family? We don't need them to uplift us and to bring our families together. Your neighborhood, you know what's good and what's bad in there. And we do have to get together in that neighborhood and weed out all the bad ones. Because everything in that neighborhood that's bad is going to wash off or is going to terrorize the people that's living there. Or eventually they move because they fear for their own safety. So it doesn't work that way if they don't have the resources to have hope. So you keep them down. And you write out all these prescription drugs that's got the community all messed up. You thought cocaine and crack back then was doing it. Oh, it done really did a number on us back then. But these opioids, these bad drugs that they gave out, undid a number, a bad number in our community. We got a lot to clean up. Can some of this be fixed? I don't know. I never knew it would take that long to fix a problem. You know, you have a problem in the household and you're trying to figure out, okay, this bill got to get paid. Or better yet, let me rephrase that. Okay, so I paid the bill. The bill is paid for. Now, we can't allow this bill to get high anymore. So we're going to have to reduce and learn how to save. So we all have money in the household that we need, because we can't put all the money into one bill that we just let get out of control. So we got to cut back, or we just got to be more attentive to how we're using our resources. Okay, we're climbing the ladder and we're getting there, but we can't be getting there if we're breaking our steps. And so we got to go by stuff to fix a step that broke, so we can't make it to the next step. So what I'm saying is this here. The community can never be fixed when they're not bringing anything in the community to give them hope, to get them started, to get them going. It takes that long to get things going. It takes that long? It takes that long? We still talking about high inflation? Are you serious? In America? We still talking about getting things right? Do you think that we should accept the steps that we have right now? Or should we be thinking ain't nothing changed? Or could some of us say, well, it's better than it was. They are steps. They could be steps. But what is still keeping us stuck there in that place? Your money needs to go to the sources that's causing this. Because someone's causing the situation to stay the same. That's how it keeps happening. Because you have to slay the dragon that keeps bringing the fire. It'll never stop. As long as those drugs are on the street, and as long as that person, that Fed, that law, that FDA, whatever you want to call it, that's approving all of those signatures to approve all those drugs that get pushed out there, and then they can pull back. We're going to pull them all back. We can't do the giving out prescription anymore. Well, at least the high doses ones we've been giving out. Now you got a bunch of junkies that's having withdrawals. They can't function now because they've been used to all of this, these high doses of drugs. Then you got all this heinous crimes going on. You can't understand why it keeps happening. So there's a lot going on. A lot of social justice, but a lot of social injustice that's going on that got the community still the same. Oh, it's a lot. And it will cost a lot to do. Let's just say Jay-Z may not be selling out. Let's just say he's making his own personal steps right now to try to help. But I believe that it's selling out because I don't know what you can do that's going to actually benefit any social cause out here that the black men are dealing with. The black men. Because they all are looking out for themselves. And when you're trying to stop that commotion from going and you're trying to go slay that dragon, the people that's in your camp are always your enemies. And so you end up getting slain for trying to do the right thing. We saw how Tupac was. Very political, very strong-minded, very educated, very powerful thinking, powerful talking, bringing out all of these elements of why this situation is the way it is and why this is the way that is. And look what they're doing to us. And look what happened to him. So, if he was still living, could he be speaking up for us? Would he be the voice? Or was he too loud? Notorious B.I.G. wouldn't have been able to fit that category, but does everybody deserve a chance to, do right? Yeah, they do. So he could help too, because all these brothers, they do influence our young culture out there, because they look up to you brothers. And I say it like this: Jay-Z, Kanye, all of you guys, y'all have a family, you have a wife, you have a kid, you have these people in your life that you love, that you have to support. And there's no way in the world that you can't tell me that you don't understand the situation that's going on in those communities. And would you put your kid into those communities? You got yourselves out of there. And you know how hard it is and what it takes, the resources that they need to get out. You guys know that. You guys have the biggest platforms out there, right along with a lot of other black actors and musicians or other activists and some politicians that are still just talking. It's bad when you can't clean up your own neighborhood, but you're speaking for the world. It don't work like that. It'll never be fixed talking that way. Never be fixed. They mentioned that how could Jay-Z help the world when he hasn't even helped the same neighborhood that he grew up in, where he slung crack at. He hasn't did anything for that community. I don't know. I'm only reading what I saw. But if that's the case, like I said, how can you save the world? So let's leave the world alone and have a heart and understand that you guys have families. And you guys know how hard it is to get out of those neighborhoods that's bad, to try to make it. And they only let only let so many people come in that back door. You guys get in that door, you guys see these other doors. But you guys are the only ones going through those doors. You guys don't owe us anything, because it's been going on for the longest. Because a lot of people have gotten into those same doors you guys have been in there. And we're still at the position we're in right now. Because they can cut you off anytime they want to. And put you right back where you was and where you belonged in the first place. Having money and not having money is just two different lives, two different ways of thinking. Some people would say back then, well, you can't save the world, or you can't save everybody. You gotta save yourself. And that's what it boils down to. Take care of your own. We know that our youth, our teenagers, our kids, they go through a lot of stuff because we were kids ourselves. So they do see a lot. But our job is to, raise them right best we can, and, keep them away from harm, and do our best to get them to understand that you're not trying to hold them back. You want them to have all the things that you never had, but at the same time, you have to raise them, and at the same time, you have to show them the values and the importance of what life really means to you. Not the things, but the things that carry on when it's time for you to pass it on to your own kids, to your own families, to your own relatives, or maybe passing it on to someone who's a friend that may need it. That's what we are. Some of us that are good people out here, we are guardian angels to others. So if you're corrupting people, having them doing bad things, then you're bad. You're bad. And you're causing the problem that we're having in the world. But you're also hitting us closer to where we live at, and that's home. Ghettos. That's what they are. And that's all that we have. And when you trap us in, when we have to come home, hoping that we make it home safe, as well as coming out, we're left there to try to call it nothing but what it is: survive. That's all it is. Survival. No, we're not perfect. We're all babies to this earth. And we are still fresh and just starting to learn things. Our minds are open. Because we wasn't like this, way back. But slowly, somewhere up in the 80s and the 90s, things did start to change. We get into 2000, our minds are broad now. So we don't hear the same stuff that some of these politicians are talking about. Do this and I'm going to do that for you. We value on who we pick now in our lives. Because it's scary out there. You pick the wrong person out there and your whole life could get turned around for the worse. And it's hard to get back on your feet. Very hard. We can't depend on no Jay-Z's to change our lives. What they should have been doing is coming into the communities and going to those districts, getting those better relations, and understanding who are some of the bad people that we either need to try to help, not kill them, help. Because we do need to help them. They're not animals to be killed. But when you go behind a door, and I'm just being honest, with a white person, we don't know what kind of discussions you have. What could it be worth? Could it be worth anything? We've had a lot of stuff thrown at us that they said that was going to help us. It sounds like slave talk, what they're going to give us. That's what it sounds like. I say, raise your kids in your home. Do the best you can as a parent. We know it ain't easy. We know it's hard. But you don't have to fall down all the way. Because each day we see the light, we know there's hope in our lives, so we're going to keep going, we're going to roll with this. We got to make sure that our families and kids are being raised right. That's the only way the neighborhood is going to change. And then we start weeding out all these bad people. We ain't got to harm them, we ain't got to do violence. We have to change the cycle. There's a cycle we have to change. We have to change the cycle, the habitat, how everything was. We have to change that. That's what we have to do. And if we don't get a chance to do that, and it's called, well, we can't beat them, we join them, then look what position we get in. It gets all out of control. It makes the job much harder to fix. So it's hard to fix those situations. Somewhere in our lives, things did get better for us because we were all strong. We were all united with each other. But somewhere, something went wrong. And I'm telling you, something came into our matrix and something changed the way, the value of how all of our families used to be, used to feel. We don't have that anymore. We lost it. And there's only so many people that's still alive that have these remedies, that know what it takes to get the family back strong again. They know. And we still need that information. Because if we don't get that information, we'll be taking what television is allowing you to do or to say how to raise your kid in your household, what's important and what you're doing wrong. That's in your home. And don't let them take that away from you. We can't have this outside interference coming into our home, coming into our community, and destroying us. Social justice, there's a lot of things that caused it that way. There's a lot of elements. Could we say rap music is one of them? Yes, it is. I'm a victim of it myself. I listened to it all back in my days. I'm a victim of it. But the older you get, you see that, you know what, hey, I got a kid now, I don't think I want them hearing this. So this is how it goes. I believe I think Dick Gregory said one time, we're all part of this filth because we contribute into it all. We did. We contributed to all of this. And this is what we're dealing with. Not just them, but they threw the antidote down to us, and we spread it. And we've passed it on now. And now it's corrupting our youth now. The adults, some adults don't even have the strength to be adults anymore because they're behaving like the kids. And the kids are behaving like adults, like they have to get out here and do things on their own and do what they got to do. Don't let certain parts of television fool you. When you see the rage and shit that people are doing out here, causing mayhem and not caring and shooting and scaring people, putting fear into their thoughts, those people we have to stop and get them out. Could you go call a cop into your neighborhood and tell a cop, listen, that house has people in there and they have guns and drugs. Can you go in there and arrest them? They'll probably say, no, we can't do that. We got to get a search warrant, so we can't do anything to that. Just stay on your property and mind your business, and, if anything goes wrong, we'll see what we can do. That's how it goes. It's a service. It's a service call. It's money. This is what this deal is with Jay-Z. It ain't gonna do much. And if he have certain things on his halftime thing that he's supposed to be doing, it'll be some stuff or some commercials that'll give you some heart feelings. Yeah, make you feel, bad that or make you feel good that he's trying to do something to inspire you a little bit. And that's as far as it probably would go. But I'm telling you, your neighborhood, inside your household, that's where it starts at before it enters out that door. Right now for us, it's a jungle when we go out there. It's not a jungle just for our race, it's a jungle for everybody now. Because the common denominator is that you think that you put it off on us. No, it's being put off on everybody. Everybody's a victim, but we just get it in the worst ways. That's what it's about. So we just have to change some things in our household. We can't wait for them to do it. Because social justice is a struggle. But I believe we have to start in our homes. The homes are so important. Because eventually that changes the community. We got to change the way we're doing things and stop letting them do it for us. That's what we have to change. That's all we have to change. This concludes my podcast called Tell the World. My name is Lothar Burns. And you guys have a blessed and a nice evening.